everything was changed.
Okay. Okay. We're live. All right. We're live. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Welcome to FSAMANIA. Now, this is a little bit of a. I'm going to adjust my camera just a second. Sorry, guys. This is a little bit of something we decided to put together to help you guys get ready for FSA KL as well as FSA Singapore. Now, FSA KL is happening. Our Function and Astrology seminar is happening this coming Saturday and Sunday. It is a 2-day event. I hope most of you guys have got your tickets. If not, I'll have something a little bit special at the end of it for those of you guys who haven't got your tickets as yet, right? You can actually check it out here. Let's see, where's that? Okay, I apologize in advance, guys. This is the first time I'm actually streaming live like this. Now, most of the time, the webinars I've done are generally on like a Zoom platform. It's the first time I'm actually going live on Instagram and all of the other platforms you've got going on together. And so I will need a little bit of your patience, a little bit of your support, a little bit of your love to encourage me, keep me going. I've got something very exciting for you guys. Now, this is something I've never shared before, right? I call it where the wealth star really is in 2026. Now, most of you guys are quite familiar with the usual wealth star. So I'm going to be sharing something very, very different today. Now, this is really something that we don't generally do for the public, right? This isn't something we generally do for the public. It's something that we reserve, honestly, for some of our more exclusive clients who work closely with us, clients who actually invest quite a bit of money, anywhere from 30,000 ringgit to 500,000 ringgit, to get us to do this for them, depending on the complexity and size of the business or development, right? So I'm actually going to take it away. For those of you guys who may be new to me, who may be new to what we're doing and new to actually having me present, I know this might be exciting, interesting. My name is Gurunathan. That's my full name. I've been with Joey and the Joey Up Group for 25 years, if you can believe that. So 25 years. I've worked with Joey on some of the biggest projects around the world. Some of you guys here would have worked with us on that as well, right? Some of you all here would have worked with us, whether it was in Melbourne, whether it was in Sydney, whether it was in London, whether it was in places like as far as Durban, South Africa, or even North America. We worked on so many projects. Some of you guys are here. So I've worked with Joey on many, many of these projects, right? Now, some of the information, actually, much of the information I'm going to share here really applies whether it's for your home or for your office. I did mention earlier, primarily we use it for offices or commercial properties, but you can just as well apply it for your home. Now, the thing is, most people, when they see wealth star, they're talking about what they think they're talking about is just money. It's not necessarily always financial. There are various different types of wealth I always refer to, right? And I think a lot of that is really about happiness, fulfillment as well. Yeah. And the means by which we achieve that, I consider that wealth. All right. Very cool. So I will take only an hour of your time. I'm going live for an hour of your time. I will try my best to answer as many of your questions, right? So you guys can post it there. I will save it sort of to the end so that I don't interrupt my flow. And I'll answer as much and as many of your questions as I can towards the end. All right. Now, where the wealth star really is in 2026 is something I conceptualized because I felt maybe it was time to share with you all the exact strategies and techniques we use, the applications we use, a small part of it, not all of it, a small part of a very applicable section, right, from our high-level feng shui consultations. Like I said earlier, we save this generally for our top-tier clients, right? And today, I'm going to share all those secrets with you. Okay, now hold tight, stick with me all the way to the end. And for those of you guys who actually stay with me to the end, I'll have a very special bonus for you. Okay, now I've actually written down a whole bunch of notes, so I'm going to be referring to the notes from time to time as well. Okay, so let's take it away. All right, now I don't need any introduction, like I said earlier, been with Joey for 25 years, etc. And so what is feng shui? Okay, all right. Now, many of you guys here are going to ask, why did you start with this? This is really, and I'm going to go through this very, very quickly because I don't need to cover for most of you guys what is feng shui, right? But I'm going to go through this anyway. For many of you here who may be new to the live stream, or maybe new to the subject of feng shui, and for whom this may be your first experience with it. I honestly thought most of you guys here would already be familiar, but I realized that we had a huge number of people who just joined, who just subscribed. So I'm going to do this for the benefit of those of you guys who are here. Now, the most basic principle of feng shui, guys, is very simple. Science of the environment. No better way for me to explain it other than science of the environment. It's basically a balance between yin and yang. Chi produced by the hills stops the boundaries of water. The actual process by which we make sure that chi flows beneficially into your home or your office is the actual application of feng shui, right? Very cool. All right, let's jump through this very, very quickly. I'm going to keep a lot of time closer to the end for many of your questions. So I promise I will take your questions, right? And we always say this, you guys know this as well. Mountains govern people and water governs wealth. That's why you're always going to find areas that have water. Generally, it turns out to be financial centers, financial districts, whether that's Singapore, whether that's Hong Kong, whether that's Sydney, or whether that's London, you're always going to see that flow of water, right? And you'll see those areas generally great for financial districts, right? Next, feng shui is 70% in the external environment and 30% internal. What we're going to focus on today is the 30%, the internals of your home or your office, all right? Because that's what I can control. So I'm going to help you guys with that so that you can actually control that aspect of it, all right? Very cool. Now, this portion is very crucial. The 4 factors of feng shui. You've got the environment, you've got the building, you've got the time, and you've got the people aspects of it. With feng shui, these 4 aspects actually are the core tenets we address when we talk about feng shui. However, today, we're only going to talk about building, all right? Building and a little bit of time, because what I'm going to share with you today is actually some portion of the feng shui of 2026. It's 1 year, right? 1 year that can make or break. Joey has spoken about the Crimson Horse before, and it's a year filled with a lot of volatility, a year filled with a lot of new opportunities and new challenges as well. So I'm going to help you guys with winning 2026. I actually want to share a quick story with you guys. I'm a storyteller, so you're going to get a lot of cool stories from me. I've actually spoken to quite a few friends. I've spoken to a couple of clients as well, very good friends, close friends. And some of them had a real shitty 2025. I'm going to tell you why. Some of them, and I wish I could share some of that, but it's very personal, so I don't want to. So I'll just tell you the stories. So I had one friend who I helped in 2021. He then doubled his business, doubled the size of his office, and we did that again in 2022. He again doubled the size of his office, took up an extra unit, and we did in 2023. And again, he was growing his business, growing his revenues, and he again increased the size of his office. Now, here's the problem. When I asked him just 2 months ago, how was 2025 for you? He said it was totally shit, and he had the worst year in 12 years ever. Now, I couldn't understand why. Because in 2025, at the end of 2024, early 2025, we had actually done the feng shui, right? I actually gone ahead and actually did the actual recommendations for him. And here's the weird part. When I asked him, what did you do? Did you make any changes? Did you drill something, renovate something? Was there anything else that changed? He said, no, we just didn't apply anything you sort of recommended. And I looked at him and said, why not? Right? I mean, I gave you the advice. Why not? And basically he said, oh, my business partner thought it was ugly. So because his business partner thought it was ugly, right? And again, he never came back to me and said, can you recommend something else other than these metal plates, etc. Because his business partner thought it was ugly, he didn't apply it. He had the worst year, like he said, in 12 years. So I also don't know why he didn't reach out anytime within the year, but well, lesson learned, as we always say, right? And so this is why 1 year can have a tremendous impact, right? I wish I could bring on some of these friends and have them actually share their testimony with you rather than just tell you the story. But essentially, 1 year makes or breaks you. All right. Now, this is what we call the direct spirit, indirect spirit location. Don't worry too much about it. I'm not actually going to cover this so much, right? And I'm just going to jump right into why I actually brought you guys here. All right. Now, the whole paradox of any annual feng shui reading or any annual feng shui analysis is the fact that people are looking for a single wealth star, right? Or a wealth spot in their home, right? And the thing is that's not necessarily the actual case, right? Now, we're talking about very specific sectors that have very different impacts, right? And very different applications of annual feng shui, right? So we're not talking about what you guys might have heard of before. It's not even what I've shared with you guys before. If you've attended any of the other seminars that I've done live, or even the webinar I did in December, right? So this is something completely different, right? Now, the real wealth in 2026, like I said here, it's not just about cash flow. It's about visibility. It's about stability. It's about protection. And I don't use the word contentment. I use the word fulfillment. It's about happiness, right? I think you guys will all agree the real focus of life, the real goal of life is to be happy, right? It's not necessarily that you need $100 million yacht for you to be happy. So these are the goals I'm going to help you guys try and achieve today, right? By the end of this, you should be able to apply what I'm going to share for yourself. Okay. All right. Let me just jump through the next. Now, we call this the feng shui year stars. Why do we call the feng shui year stars? Because if you look closely at this, I don't have slides for you guys. I'm so sorry. You'll have to do a screenshot, or you can ask me for it later. I'll have my contact right at the end. I'll share some of this with you guys, right? The feng shui year stars actually have 4 sectors, and these 4 sectors we've actually marked them out with the little star there, right? If you look at it, marked out the little star. This is actually basically the location of the 4 stars that I'm going to be covering today. The 4 stars that I talked about, which talk about just more than money. We're talking about, like I said, fulfillment, happiness, having people help you out, resolving problems, dissolving these problems as well. I'm going to cover all of that here, right? So these 4 are known as the sun star, the moon star, we call it the dragon virtue, and the fortune virtue. So what does it mean? Because this may be the first time you're actually being exposed to this. So what does it actually mean? How do you use it? And what can you do with it? All right. So I'm going to go through this slowly, step by step. I'm going to step through each one of it. I'm going to tell you how to do it, what it means, how you can use it. More importantly, how we use it practically when we are talking about application, right? You might have even read about this from a academic perspective. I can tell you sometimes it's more above beyond what you have read. It's more than just the academic side of stuff. Having done thousands of consults, having worked with Joey on thousands of consults, I can actually share with you guys exactly how it works. All right. So let me just jump into the first one first, right? The first one is the We call this a sun star, right? I will not try and pronounce the Chinese spelling for it because I'm very sure I'll butcher it. For those of you guys who know, you know what it is. But basically, the sun star, guys. The sun star, we actually use the sun star primarily for nobleman support, right? We use that for a lot of nobleman support. And we basically, when you find yourself needing support from other people, right? That's really when we reach for the sun star, right? Now, nobleman, or we call it benefactor, right? I know that may be a alien concept. If you're tuning in from somewhere in the world other than the Asian side of things, basically the nobleman star is what we call having a powerful godfather, having people in positions of authority sort of look out for you and things like that, right? So that's really what we do. When we use the sun star, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to achieve. That's what we're trying to get to help us. When do you actually want to do this, right? Now, whether it's your boss, your father, your husband, even male mentors or people in positions of authority, right? Even if you say have a project and you need to get it approved, this is what you really want to activate. You want to be able to activate the sun star so that you actually can solve these problems by having people come and help you out, right? To give you a hand with things, right? You might even be surprised that when you actually activate the sun star, you're going to find that random people sometimes show up and offer help, right? Of course, I always recommend once you've activated it, obviously, please go and look for the help as well. But you'd be quite surprised sometimes, and I found this to be true. Very often, what happens is people just randomly show up and offer help, and it also sometimes. So where is the sun star, right? Okay, sun star is the southwest one sector. Someone pointed out. I haven't actually. I explained it. And so the sun star works also very well when you need some success in your current projects, as well as happy celebrations, like we said. So now the problem, the southwest one is where it's at, right? The only challenge with activating some of these stars is that you've got to actually know exactly where it's at, right? You've got to know exactly where it's at within your property. So if you got your home, you've got a compass, you can sort of overlay it like this, find out where the southwest one sector is, or kind of guesstimate it, right? Kind of guesstimate it. We'll cover this, of course, a lot more in detail in the function astrology seminar that Joey Up is doing this coming Saturday and Sunday. But I'm going to run through this for you guys, okay? Now, why we talk about opening paths. We talk about normal people who can actually help you out, right? And the thing is, this also helps with actually sort of identifying danger ahead of time. So when you have these people actually jump in, come and help you out, you're going to have situations where people sort of warn you about danger. Like sometimes at work, someone comes and tells you, hey, look, someone's got it in for you, etc. Or in any organizations or any company that you keep, people sort of give you that kind of help, right? So that's what we actually use the sun star for, right? The other thing that you actually want to use the sun star for, right? The one other thing that you can use the sun star for is fame and public recognition. So if you have if you are in the process of actually building your brand, for example, you can actually use the sun star as well, right? It's great for fame and recognition. If you're just starting out, especially, I had one of our students from Philippines actually tell me how she had amazing luck with doing this last year. So she activated last year. Very soon she was on TV, she was on programs. She herself was surprised by the calls that were coming in to actually get her to share her knowledge of feng shui in a place that's not familiar with feng shui, like the Philippines, right? So it's great for that. Generally, it is better for men, right? It enhances your leadership, enhances your masculinity, as they say, and it also enhances your authority. For ladies, however, when you do this, when you enhance this, what then generally happens is it's easier for you to gain a certain amount of status, a certain amount of respect, and more importantly, you will find that you then have men. I didn't make the rules, guys. Not starting a gender war on anything, but it basically just means that you then have men in positions of authority who decides to jump in and help you say and give you a hand with things, right? I think help from anywhere is always appreciated. So that's very, very good, right? Next, and final one for the actual sun star. One of the things it does is that it works in a sense of it's like the sun, right? It's like the sun in that way. It actually exposes any hidden dangers, right? It helps with problem solving because it actually helps with hidden dangers, and also if you've got issues, legal type of issues, if you've got a lot of backstabbing going on at work, for example, um, or even stagnation. I find sometimes if you've got some stagnation going on, or even confusion, you're kind of unclear, the path ahead isn't unclear. Activating the sun star actually sort of helps you with lighting up the path, or somebody helps light up the path for you. You suddenly run into a mentor at times, right? Now, let's go on to the next one. That's the actual moon star, right? And I'm just wondering how many of you guys here actually are familiar with this, and how many are very, very new to this. Just put it in the comments. I'll actually see it in a second. You can either say new, or you can just say I know. Let me just check out the comments here that are actually coming in. Oh, hello. I'm seeing all the comments here. I'd actually sort of not looked so much at the comments. Hello from Florida. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much from London. Amazing. Strong echo on your voice. I'm unfortunately having to talk to you guys from my office room, and the office room is sort of not soundproofed. Unfortunately, I'll try and improve on it for the next round, guys. But for now, let me just go forward with it. I'll try and sit closer to the mic. I hope that helps. Right? Really sorry, guys, about the microphone. And no, I don't have subtitles either. Yeah. Too much background noise when I move my hands. I had no idea. Okay, we got to do something about that. But for now, let me jump forward right through. Okay, the moon star, right? So for those of you guys who want to activate the moon star, why and how would you activate it? Now, the moon star, in my experience, right? What you're seeing here, grief dissolver and exposing hidden dangers and things like that, right? Basically, it's what I find the Moonstar does really, really well, right? What Moonstar does really, really well when I've applied it for myself, I really use it to sort of create more wealth opportunities. I find the hidden wealth opportunities kind of actually sort of come to the surface, and when I'm finding that, give me a second, guys. Oh, let me just sort of. Okay, so I've just sort of turned off the fan a little bit. There's less noise there. Yeah. It sounds like an ASMR. So sorry, guys. Okay, all right. Let's hope that works better. I'm a little bit closer to the mic. I'm hoping that works a bit better. I'll project my voice and hopefully that helps. Hello from Melbourne. All right, cool. So the Moonstar, we're talking about that. It actually helps with hidden wealth. We talk about creating more wealth opportunities. The times that we have activated it for clients, the Moonstar, what's actually happened, I found, is that it exposes sometimes wealth opportunities that you didn't know existed, right? So that's generally how it has worked before for many of the clients that we've worked with before, right? Activating the Moonstar, and this year it's actually in the let me see, it's actually in the West sector, right? The Moonstar is actually in the West sector this year. And so you're going to find that it actually works very, very well in the sense of when you need help in creating more wealth opportunities. All right. So the other thing it does also pretty well is it helps if you're dealing in female related industries, because the moon star is the yin energy of things. And so when you need female benefactors or you're in female related industries, this actually works pretty well. Yeah, it actually works pretty well. It's in the rooster sector. For those of you guys who are very familiar with the 24 mountains, the smaller sectors within the compass, this is actually in the rooster sector. All right. Now, it also signifies, it helps get you behind the scenes kind of support, right? Behind the scenes, you may not even be aware that you've got people who are on your side, but this actually helps, and it's resources that kind of grow over time. Yeah, people recognize you for what you're doing, and it's stuff that grows over time. Yeah, I also like this sometimes, honestly, because it does help create a bit of emotional support. I think all of us sometimes face challenging times, especially when we're going through a tough time, right? So this actually helps create emotional support and even harmony within relationships. When you're running through um, problems with your relationships, whether it's personal, whether it's private, whether it's actually in the workplace, right? This actually helps sort of soothe things over if you've got a lot of um, issues, you've got a lot of drama and things like that. So I'll cover how to use this right at the end. Yeah, you can actually activate it, right? You actually can activate it. And how you want to do it is you want a good date and time. I like to do this with fire for the year, simply because those of you who know will know that the number 3 star is actually in this sector. So if you're going to use this, use a fire burning a candle, a real fire if you can. Try not to burn your house down. Caveat: don't burn your house or office down. But if you can use a fire or a candle in the West 2 sector, this actually works doubly well. It reduces the impact of the 3 yellow, which causes legal issues, legal problems, as well as actually activating the moon star, right? Now, one of the good things about this is also it helps when you are a person who's trying to build your assets, right? Build wealth and assets. If you're looking at property ownership, you want to find some good property. I've noticed that this does help, right? But you still have to go out and look for it. Still apply common sense when you are looking for the property, but it creates those sort of opportunities if you are looking for property related assistance, right? And if you're looking for longer term investments as well, right? If you're looking to flip things and make money quickly, maybe not the moon star, right? But definitely slower kind of wealth, right? No windfalls, no sudden winning of the lottery, unfortunately, but definitely slower sort of wealth building, right? Asset development, wealth building, and things like that, right? So those of you guys who may have roosted this year, I think you could look into, these sort of areas. You actually can look into things like real estate, luxury, wellness, all of that stuff. You've got some great opportunity for wealth, right? Kiran asked, the doors at West 2, will that actually activate the moon star? Not, it does, but I would still use the fire, right? I'd give it a little bit of that extra boost, because you've also got the number 3 there, Kiran, don't forget. And so what happens is I would be very intentful at looking at the West 2 sector and making sure that I actually get the most benefit out of it. I need a good date and time, though. So those of you guys who are coming to our Future Astrology seminar this weekend, or if you're joining us in Singapore, that's happening on 31st of January, right? You'll see me at both locations, of course. Come and say hi. If you guys do see me, you'll actually get those good dates and times. All right? Very cool. Let me jump forward to the rest, guys, because I did promise you guys I want to take some of your questions towards the end, and I don't want to run out of time. Yeah. And I don't want to take up too much time either. Okay. So next is called the Dragon Virtue. So where is the Dragon Virtue for the year? Again, this changes every year. Sean Moon asks, does cooking count? No, you cannot cook in the West 2 sector and hope to activate it, right? You can activate the 3, see if that might, I don't know, start up some legal issues or some arguments and things like that. But no, to be very honest, you can't use that. So do it intentfully. Get a proper, fire element, candle and things like that. In Malaysia, we've actually got this tie-up coming with IKEA, and they sell a lot of these long burning candles. I like them. I use them. Go check them out. So Dragon Virtue, right? When do you use Dragon Virtue? Dragon Virtue is actually in the Northeast 1, the Ox sector for the year, right? Now, what I like about the Dragon Virtue is that it helps resolve problems, right? And it always brings about, no, I can't say it always, but it very often brings about a resolution in a graceful kind of manner, right? In a way that doesn't have you trying to kill each other, right? I watched a very cool show called War of the Roses. So where they actually, this husband and wife, after being married for a long time, trying to kill each other. So nothing like that. You're basically coming to a very beautiful sort of conclusion. So this is a great sector to activate for that, right? Especially useful, I have found, when I run into problems that I don't have a solution for, a problem I can't solve on your own, an issue that I'm really stuck at, right? And I know some of us have a lot of these kind of problems. One of the clients we did this for actually had a health issue, and doctors basically were not giving her much hope. And so when we did activate it, she found a doctor who actually specialized in it. She did again look for them, but they somehow popped up through someone else's recommendation. And they found a doctor who could actually help them with issues they were facing, medical issues they were facing, right? And very often this also helps you connect to people who can provide you with that help, with that support in solving these problems, okay? Now, I like to consider this a crisis diffusing power, right? So maybe given everything that's happening on the world stage, we need to activate this for our world leaders, right? Because these guys seem to be in a constant state of crisis. Every time I turn on the news, you've got someone picking a fight with somebody else. So probably we should activate the Dragon Virtue for them. Now, one of the good things about the Dragon Virtue as well, if you are familiar with Partsa and you've got a chart that actually you see the potential for illnesses or you accidents or even legal issues, right? What you want to do with activating the Dragon Virtue is basically to help you diffuse some of that, right? Reduce the impact of it, reduce even the potential for illnesses, right? I find that this actually does help, right? Even when it comes down to illnesses, it can help, especially if you've had any lingering sort of issues and you want to get and you want to be able to sort it out this year. So someone did ask, how do you activate the Dragon Virtue, right? The Northeast one. Now the Northeast one, what I didn't cover earlier, which I didn't want to repeat myself too many times, is the Northeast is not an area that you can really use water, right? So I like to use fire. Because that's a great way as an activator that gets you a nice quick boost. Think of it like being on a bit of a marathon and you've got power gel packs that sort of make you feel like, you got to go kind of thing, or that first shot of espresso in the morning, right? So yes, think of it like that, right? So use the candle, use it in the Northeast 1 sector. You're going to find it actually gives you that boost that you actually need, right? In terms of solving illnesses or any legal issues even, right? Okay, very cool. Now, we like to sometimes, talk about getting people to help you without asking, right? The Dragon Virtue also sort of has that impact, right? When you do activate it, it also attracts respect, attracts trust. So you've got people who basically look up to you and they sort of see you maybe having some troubles, having some problems, having issues you can't solve, and they actually offer to help you out, right? Now, I like to use this for those who are even spiritual practitioners or advisors or coaches, I should say, right? In situations where authority would come from your character, where people see your character, people recognize your character. If you're looking to be a leader, if you're looking to lead, if that is something that's important to you, go ahead, activate the dragon virtue, right? I think that will actually have a tremendous impact for you. Um, Sometimes I know people refer to this as the hidden nobleman energy. Why we call it the hidden nobleman energy? Because it's different to the sun star, right? The sun star is more like that. It's in your face. The dragon virtue is more along the lines of how would I describe it? More along the lines of quiet help, right? It's that person behind the scenes who takes care of things for you without actually needing to even be recognized. So that's really what it's like. We call it the hidden nobleman energy, um, and it's also why we say hidden nobleman energy because it comes from unexpected sources, right? Someone you didn't think would actually be there for you or be able to help you, sort of, kind of jumps in, right? I do like to often activate this in conjunction. You can activate all the four, right? Very often we say, oh, don't activate all the wealth sectors. However, this is one of those special occasions, special situations, special energies where you can activate, where you can activate all the four. All right, where you can actually activate all the four, right? Um, okay, let me see if I can get the mic. All right, cool. So where you can actually activate all the four sectors that I'm going to be talking about. We've got one more to go, right? So if you want to activate this together with the moon star and you want to activate it together with the with what I'm going to talk about next, the actual fortune virtue star that I'm going to talk about, you actually can go ahead and do it, right? Um, which is the fourth. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. When to activate Dragon Virtue? Lei Heng Li. Yes, you can actually activate the Dragon Virtue on a good date and time. Uh, Unfortunately, the only way to get those dates and times are with us this weekend, 24th, 25th at KL at MyTech. I'm actually going to be sharing that. Let me show it to you guys. There you go. There it is. You can find all the information there. Or on 31st of December, we're going to be, stay with me to the end, stay with me to the end. I'll show you guys how to do all this. But 31st of December in Singapore, that's at Resorts World Singapore, guys, right? Stay with me to the end. I've actually got a couple of sponsored tickets that I'm going to share with you guys. It's free because one of our sponsors had some additional tickets and they said they didn't want it to go to waste because they took a whole bunch of tickets from us in a sort of a large purchase. They sponsored all these tickets and they had a bit of extra. So they said, well, why don't you guys give it off, very good friends of mine, for since you're going live today, right? So again, how do we activate the sectors? Northeast 1 and West 2, use fire. If you're going to do the Southwest 1 that I talked about earlier, you can use water, but you need a good date and time, guys. You need a good date and time, right? No, I cannot flash the first two. You'll have to watch it after, I think, and I'm not an expert in this. My age is showing, but I think you can watch it after the live ends as well. They'll put it up for you guys. All right, they'll put it up for you guys. Don't worry. Yes, I said January. Did I say December? I'm so sorry. I meant 24th and 25th of January and 31st of January. 31st January is going to be in Singapore. 24th, 25th is going to be at MyTech in KL. All right. Let me jump to the next slide. All right. This is the this is going to be the fortune virtue, right? Now, this is the East 2 sector, the rabbit sector. Okay. The fortune virtue works a little bit differently. In instances where I have activated the fortune virtue before, right? I always got happy news, happy tidings, stuff that made me smile, right? It's like success in any endeavor, that kind of thing. When I did this in 2014, unexpectedly, we found out my wife was pregnant, right? After trying for quite a bit of time, right? and having gone through quite a few challenges with it months and months before, we suddenly found out unexpectedly. I think it was even unexpected for her that she was pregnant. So that was 2014 when I did this, right? And in 2018, when I did this again, and I was doing my MBA just for the heck of it, I was having some fun with it, and I found out I actually graduated with honors. One of only two people out of 100 that year, or something like that. So it was a very nice, not honors, it was distinction. Is that the word they use? I think in Australia that's what you all say, distinction. So it was very rare, and it was with distinction. I did not expect it. I'll be honest, I winged most of my assignments and the exams as well, but somehow it worked out. So very happy event. It's also really nice because it is great when you are launching a business, launching a product. I find it works very, very well. We've used that very nicely to help clients who are doing that, right? Especially useful if you are just starting out. Especially if you're just starting out, whether it's doing a live like I am right now, or it's starting out, or if it's just starting out on a new business, a new venture, a new side hustle, for example, that you've decided this year you've got to somehow figure out how to make more money. This is what you want to do. You want to activate the fortune virtue, right? And one of the side effects of this, I talked about fulfillment. Surprisingly, even in instances where it doesn't generate a ton of money for you, I find that this star is fabulous in bringing you fulfillment, right? One of the things I remember when I started doing some of these seminars, I don't usually do it. I haven't done it very often, and I started doing it. One of the things I did find, and I activated this because I was starting out on something new, it didn't necessarily lead to a great deal of immediate financial rewards, right? I was literally just sharing. That's really what my goal is. Goal is, even today, it's really just about, much of it is sharing. But I loved seeing the comments, you know, and I loved hearing feedback from people. I loved hearing so much from people how much it helped them, and so that fulfillment was something I don't think money can buy, right? And that's one of the things with the fortune virtue star in the East 2 sector. East, you can use water, right? This year, those of you guys who know, the 8 star is there this year. So if you can activate the East 2 sector, double bonus points right there. Okay. Now, we talk about the ability, when you do activate the fortune virtue star, not just to accumulate wealth. Well, the 8 star is there this year, so you're going to definitely find opportunities for that, but also to enjoy, right? You know, people sometimes, and I'm sure you've got friends like this as well, who are so busy making the money, they've got no time to enjoy it, right? Or they're so stressed out making the money, yeah, that they've got no time to enjoy it. So if you happen to be one of those people and you've decided you need to make a change before you drop dead, because I'm seeing a lot of people who are suddenly facing a lot of life or death kind of situations, right? A very good friend of mine, I was just chatting with him a little bit earlier as well. About 3 months ago, he actually had a heart attack, like literally heart attack, caught a Grab, which is, a version of Uber that you guys have, and took himself to the Heart Institute in Malaysia, right? And so I think moments like that, instances like that, remind you that it isn't that, yes, you want to make the money, well, it's important, but also you want to be able to enjoy it, right? And sometimes it comes in the form of your kids, right? You want to not just be about making that money, but be able to enjoy that with your family and with your kids, right? Okay, so now that's really one of the things I like about the fortune virtue, right? It actually sort of ironically reminds you about what is really important and sort of changes your perspective on life, right? You're also going to find once you've activated the fortune virtue, you somehow find things flow a lot easier, right? Whether it's blessings, or whether it's emotional stability, or even if it's um, some sort of help that you need, everything arrives at the right time. Yeah. I also love this if you're going through emotional issues, if you're having even mental health issues, right? Even if you're having mental health issues, if you're finding yourself emotionally stressed, mentally stressed, unable to figure your way out forward, I find this is where you want to go for, right? It creates an inexplicable aura of peace. It sort of makes you feel more grounded. It makes you feel, hey, there's a way out. I've got a solution for it, right? Um, Stacy was asking me, big exam for class coming up next week. Which sector should I activate with what method? It all really depends. It all really depends what you need. But I guess if you need mentors, then a nobleman, I would go with the Sun Star. If you wanted to solve a problem that you don't feel you can solve, and this happens to be an exam because you haven't studied for it or you didn't bother to attend class, I was one of those guys in my undergraduate degree who actually attended the first and the last class of Taxation 331. Shout out to Curtin University for that, because I nearly failed and I did not. At that point, I didn't know feng shui, but I got very lucky. So if you're one of those guys like me, Stacy, then I would say go with the dragon virtue. Hopefully someone swoops in and helps you out. Hopefully you can solve a problem that you don't have a solution for, right? Does fortune virtue indicate some kind of wealth fortune? Now, fortune virtue doesn't actually indicate that kind of wealth that you're thinking about. I am talking about more mental peace, more sense of gratitude that you suddenly develop for many of the blessings that you might have, right, which you've overlooked before. Yeah. It's sort of, if you're an anxious person, if you've got a lot of anxiety, it also helps sort of sort those things out, right? Now, fortune virtue is great if you want to suddenly feel younger, if you want a bit more energy, and you want to stay emotionally balanced. If it's a year in which you can see things sort of spiraling a bit out of control, or if you had a really rough 2025. I had a friend who said he had a really rough 2025. I told him about it. He did not listen. I'm so sorry. You had to go through that. My friend knows what I'm talking about. He had a rough 2025. And I think emotional balance is really what he needed. He needs at this point, right? So I would generally activate the fortune virtue for someone like him, because once you've got emotional balance, once you're feeling at peace with yourself, once you're feeling a bit more calm, you can then put your brain into action and actually find a solution, right? So fortune virtue, right, guys? Okay. Now, if you're looking for spiritual teachers, spiritual advisors, if you're also looking for healers, perhaps, right, or even good coaches, if you're looking for them, activate the fortune virtue. You might be surprised who comes to sort of help you out, right? Now, if you're having a hard time with loss, and some of us do, yeah, or even loneliness, if you're feeling a bit alone, sorry, this chair is so difficult, it actually helps soften emotional trauma. It actually helps resolve that. If you can't get past heartbreak, for example, right, you're having a hard time getting over someone, I can truly appreciate that. Then what happens is you want to activate the fortune virtue star in the East sector. You're going to find that it actually works so well to your advantage. Helps you recenter your core, helps you recenter emotionally, and actually get over things in a meaningful manner, right? You find the meaning behind it, the real meaning behind whatever sorrow or trauma or unhappiness that you're feeling. And no matter what happens, one of the good things about Fortune Virtue Star is I find no matter what happens, if you activate it, if your money goes up, money goes down, lose money, make money, you sort of keep an even keel, right? And I think that is something very powerful. People are drawn to people who are very grounded in that sense, especially when you have a year like the Crimson Horse, right? Now, you guys did stay with me almost to the end. This is almost to the end. Now, I'm going to cover these very quickly because Joey will definitely cover these in the Function Astrology Seminar that's happening over this weekend as well as next weekend on 31st in Singapore. I hate to sound like a broken record repeating it, but there's a reason we call it FSAMANIA. I'm basically priming you guys for success when you do show up. If you're attending, please come say hi. It'd be great to see you guys. Before I jump into this, I'm going to take some of the questions, right? How to activate fire or water. With fire, you can just get one of those tea light candles, right? Long burning tea light candles. I mentioned some of the IKEA candles. You guys can go ahead and grab that if you want, right? Sorry. And if you're in Malaysia, yeah, we're actually teaming up with IKEA for some of the stuff we're doing for Chinese New Year. How to activate water. Water, you need a sizable amount of water, guys. How much water? I can only say something like 40 to 50 liters of water. It's quite an aquarium. Slow moving water works very well with a pump, right? That's for east and southwest one. Fire in west two, as well as northeast one, guys, right? Okay, now this is a little bit of a, I should say, warning kind of thing, right? And I'm going to go through it very quickly. All right, the north actually has got pretty good stars for the year. And how does this get activated? How does it get impact you? Basically, if you decide to renovate, drill, or hack the ground, especially earth related, in 2026, the north sector has got both the three killings as well as year breaker. Why year breaker? Year breaker is north to, it is the year of the horse. So year breaker is north to where the rat is located, right? So don't touch it unless you have got specific advice, right? Again, the south is the 5 yellow. Those of you guys who've heard this 1,000 times, 100 times, you will know it, you will forget it, something will go wrong. I've seen this hundreds of times, thousands of times. People forget it as life goes on, things happen, especially when you're doing very well, yeah? Especially when you're doing very well. I made this mistake in 2012, and it had tremendous repercussions. If you're finding that your businesses are stuck, if you can make the sale but you cannot collect money, generally you've sort of gone ahead and activated the 5 yellow. So the 5 yellow in the south sector is particularly harmful, I'm finding this year. So pay special attention to it. How you want to reduce the impact is, of course, using metal elements, right? Why I covered this a little bit, guys, I know I'm supposed to talk about the wealth side of things, is because when you do this, it negatively impacts all the areas I spoke about earlier. We're talking about wealth, your relationships, your fulfillment, your contentment. You become tremendously unhappy, stressed, anxious. All of that sort of stirs up very, very quickly when you sort of get into renovating, hacking, nailing, drilling these sectors. The south sector is the only one where you cannot be in, right? Where the negative energy is actually impacting you, even if you're just located in the sector. All the others I'm covering, excuse me, whether it's the year breaker or whether it is the three killings, this chart over here is only impacted if you drill, nail, or hammer the ground, right? Can I drill holes before February? Yes, you can. I would still be quite careful about it. See if I can find a good date for it, Sarah. But yes, you can before February 4th crosses over, right? Now, so these are the three ones you really want to focus on. The other one is called the Grand Duke, right? Which is in the South 2 sector, right? The Grand Duke, as you all know, is the location of the animal sign of the year, which is South 2, right? Again, try not to unnecessarily stir up this madness, because I have seen very, very negative outcomes from it, right? Very negative outcomes. What to do if you've got a bedroom in the south? So, guys, basically, I'm gonna flash this up for you guys. You guys have been an amazing audience, by the way. I love your questions. Please keep them coming. I will answer all of them. But what I did want to show is this. Now, like I said earlier, we've got these tickets for you guys. So these are sponsored tickets. They're not actually free. We had a very, very nice friend of the company actually support supporters and take a huge amount of tickets. It's one of the big financial institutions we work with very closely. And they had a couple of extra tickets and they said, can you please give it out during your live? I said, sure, why not? Right? So you guys are the beneficiaries of it. Fill this up. Our team will actually send the tickets to you guys, right? You just have to if we could put it into the comment section, guys. If my team's out there, if y'all could just put this link in the comment section so people can click on it and fill up the actual form. We'll actually send you guys the tickets, right? So the actual warnings, like I said, just for 2026. Yeah, I said stop the hard work. I'm finding as I get older, right? Like I said, I've been doing this for 25 years with Joey. As I get older, I really don't want to work so hard. I want to work a lot smarter. I want to find a lot more fulfillment in what I do as well. And so, what I spoke about earlier, the sun, the moon, the fortune virtue, and dragon virtue, right? I'm hoping that actually comes in very, very handy for you guys. And I'm hoping you guys will actually be able to apply it for yourselves for this year, right? I'm going to jump into the comments, guys. I know you guys got a lot of comments, and I'm going to actually answer all of those. Keep the comments coming. Whatever comments you guys got, I won't end the stream just as yet. I'll answer all of them so that I make it worth your while for actually showing up, staying with me till the end. I really love it. First time going live, really awesome, having a lot of fun. Do you want to place the metal at the ground floor and room upstairs? Yes, I would do it at both sectors. That's what I do because I like to be safe. I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. I try not to just sort of push my luck. I always feel in life, if I can avoid problems, life becomes a lot easier for me as well, right? What to do with my main door is in the south sector. That's one of the problems I've got, guys. My main door is in the south 2 sectors. So I'm going to try and use a side entrance if I can, for the most part. However, many people cannot. So have the metal there, like I spoke about earlier, right? You know, one room only, south facing. South facing is not an issue. You can, however, divide up your studio apartment. Is for petite. You can divide your small studio apartment up into individual small sectors. We call it a small Tai Chi, and try and avoid the south sector we get. South facing is not an issue in this sense, right? Can I see the second last slide? Again, I don't know which one you want. This one? Okay. And what to do with my main door, south sector? I've answered that. Very stressful for me the past 3 years after I got pre-cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. People around me didn't help or support me, and I'm just struggling myself. But again, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Sweet Rako. Okay, but I would really recommend for someone like you, if you would go ahead, use the sectors I spoke about earlier, right? Use the Sun Star. Hopefully, that helps you find someone who can actually help you resolve your problems. The Moon Star always gets you people helping you from the back. But more importantly, Fortune Virtue, right? Fortune Virtue will get you back on an even keel. It helps address the fact that you're very stressed out, right? Like you said, you're stressful for 3 years. I'm so sorry to hear that. I can only imagine the challenge you're going through, but I hope you get that solved, right? Fortune Virtue, really important. Start with that first, right? That's all right. Door and stairs in the south sector. Again, I think I covered that earlier, right? Mountain 8 cannot put water. No, I don't know. For water, you're activating the facing star, Luciana. So you got to see what is a facing star. Don't worry about Mountain 8, right? How do you activate the east section, like I talked about earlier? Fire. What to do with your bedrooms in the south? Use a different bedroom, Amelia, right? Amelia Bergondo. If you can, use a different bedroom if you can. If you cannot, you've got no choice, then you've got to use metal. How much metal, depending on the size of your bedroom, you might want to even use these big ones that are 10 kilos times 6, the gym cast iron plates, or you can use smaller 5 kilo ones if you have, right? Does South include my house compound, only the house itself? It includes the house compound as well, right? And yes, you're right. The good dates are absolutely critical when you want to activate it. Joey will be covering this, I believe, in the Function Astrology Seminar this weekend, right? Those of you guys who have not, please join us. And you can also come to Singapore, right? If you are closer to Singapore, easy for you to come to Singapore, please join us January 31st. That's a 1-day event though, guys. Yeah, KL is a 2-day event. It's a bit more compressed in Singapore, right? So do join us if you can. So the Bergman, right, said did the water activation in the Southwest last year. It really worked, and that's because you had the 8 in the Southwest, I believe, last year, right? Yes, so you did have that. So worked very, very well. Okay, I'm glad to hear. I love these stories, guys. If you guys have all got any other stories, share it in the comments, right? We leave the water fire throughout the year. Yes, you can leave the water fire throughout the year. This is for the whole of 2026, guys, so you can use it. The sectors are generally very positive, right? And so, okay, I think I've covered most of the questions here. Can we activate Sunstar and Southwest One on the 1st or 2nd of February? No. The crossover, guys, for those of you who don't know, the crossover is actually happening on the 4th of February, right? So we're looking at dates after that, right? That we can actually activate. Right? All right. Okay, guys. So Ulrika Jones, I will see you. I do recognize a familiar name there. I'll see you on 31st January in Singapore, right? And on that note, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for being an amazing audience. I loved all your questions. I'm sure they'll put this up for you. And I'm going to share with you guys this last bit, right? Yeah, you can scan the QR code. You can also get that there to get the tickets. If you want any additional information, if you have some questions, that's my actual personal WhatsApp, right? I may not be immediately able to answer all, simply because of the volume of messages I get, but I try my level best to answer as many of the questions as comes in, especially if you've got something really urgent or important, right? I'll do my best, right? Just send me a message. We'll see. We keep in touch. You can contact me, and then we can make something happen for you guys, right? I loved sharing the session with you guys. I hope you loved listening to me and enjoyed the session just as much, right? When you're at FSA, come and say hi. For the rest of you guys, please use the information, and I will see you guys again on the next live session.